It's not always easy to figure out how dominant an NBA defense is, especially when comparing modern-day units to the premier forces of the 1950s and 60s. Just looking at points given up isn't enough, because that doesn't allow pace to come into play. For that reason, defensive rating, a pace-neutral metric that shows how many points a team allows per 100 possessions, is a much better gauge to measure prowess on that end of the court. But when attempting to rank teams historically, as we're doing here, that's still not good enough. After all, not every team with identical defensive ratings is on the same level. If two teams give up 95 points per 100 possessions, which is better, Team A, which did so during a year in which offenses thrived, or Team B, which did so when everyone was preventing points in admirable fashion? Team A should be the easy answer, because context is crucially important. That, in a nutshell, is why DRTNG+, or adjusted defensive rating, is the best inter-era metric for comparing defensive performances. Calculating it isn't particularly troublesome, just divide the league average defensive rating from the year in question by the team's defensive rating, then multiply the result by 100. If a team allows an opponent to score 10% more than the average squad that year, it'll have a 90 DRTNG+. If it allows 10% fewer points per 100 possessions, it'll have a 110 DRTNG+. A score of 100 means the defense was perfectly average. That does tend to happen surprisingly often, given that we're working with the 1,315 teams throughout league history for which we have data. Most recently, the 2013-14 Phoenix Suns were as average as could be on defense. When determining the 20 best point-preventing units throughout the NBA's many seasons, the style of play doesn't factor into the equation. Neither does points allowed per game. Nor does memorability, subjectivity or the team's win-loss records. DRTNG+ is all that comes into play. Analyses like this have been run before, notably by Hardwood Paroxysm's Andrew Lynch and Ian Levy, but this is taking it to a whole new level by running things before and after the 1976 ABA/NBA merger.